Hi everyone, welcome back to another class of pronunciation in use, unit 27 level intermediate. Today we are talking about Pete played, Rita rested. So basically what we are trying to do is work on the syllables here. Pete is one syllable, okay? Pete is one syllable. And played again one syllable, right? Pete played. But Rita is two syllables. It's got two syllables. Rita. Rita rested. So here you have two syllables. Pete played. Rita rested. Hi everyone. Welcome who's joining. Yes. So we are working on these syllables. But basically the lesson is here. Adding past tense endings. So when you add ed, how should you pronounce the ed? That's what the whole lesson is. So I've prepared some examples for you here that we can look at. So when you add ed, there are several different pronunciations, okay? So sometimes I say, for example, cleaned, needed, planned, practiced. Let me see. Oops, what happened? Let me write it again. So all these eds that you see, they have different pronunciation. You can't say, for example, all of them are pronounced like de, because they're not. So the first one here, when you say cleaned, this de sound you have here, this ed. That's the sound. Cleaned. Cleaned. Right? So I'll get this and I'll drag it in the right column, which is here. Cleaned. Right? And then sometimes it's pronounced like te. Okay. So an example of that would be tucked. Again, you see ed, but the pronunciation is te at the end of this. So this is pronounced like talked. Talked. But this one is pronounced like the. Cleaned. In both verbs, you see ed, but the pronunciation is different, right? So the first one is talked. The second one is cleaned. Can you give me an example for number 3 when we say it? When we say it, can you give an example of that? Hi Zahra, welcome. We're looking for an example for column number 3. When you add ed, this time it should sound like it. For example, I give you an example. Wanted. Here we don't have wanted. We want to find another one. Yes, good Zahra. Heated. Heated is one of them that gets the ed. Like when it gets the ed, it's pronounced like it. Heated. Heated. So just to review, here we had talked, cleaned, heated. Then there are four more here. So try to pronounce them and put them in the right column. For example, which column number 1, column number 2, column number 3. So practiced. Needed. Which column, Zahra? Needed. Again, needed, we are adding ed. But we have to see which column it goes into. No, it's not 1. Because the pronunciation is need. When you say need, the pronunciation is need. When you add ed, you're adding an extra sound. which is like this. Needed. Needed. So it does not go under column 1. Column 1 is like, for example, talked or washed. The screen is not clear. So I would say, is it better now? Here, for example, we have washed. Washed is the T sound. It goes here. Washed. Washed. So apparently you can't see this, yeah? Let me flip the camera and do that again. Maybe it's better. Maybe I should zoom a little more. After that, for example, practiced. Again, it's T sound. Practiced. Practiced. It has the T sound. Washed. Practiced. Needed is like number 3. Heated. Wanted. Needed. Pronunciation goes with ed. It. Needed. So, but the point is, all of them are ed. All of them. But you see ed in all of them. But the pronunciation, you don't hear the same. Here you hear te, talked. Here you hear the, cleaned. And finally you hear it, heated or needed. So yeah, that's the lesson that today we're working on. There's some more exercises here that we will do. It says, here it's interesting. This is like a poem that, let's listen to it. You should listen to the rhymes. We have some rhymes here. For example, he looked. He looked. You see, it's not looking. He looked round first and then reversed. So the two that we have here is first and reversed. They are actually rhymes. If you listen, you understand it better. So let me see.
B30. He looked round first and then reversed. The car that passed was going fast. He looked round first and then reversed. The car that passed was going fast. It hit the side. The driver cried. He never guessed he'd passed the test.
So here's what happens. The car that passed, actually here it says passed, but you can also say passed.
First. The car that passed was going fast.
So the car that passed, this is another rhyme. I mean, we find two more rhymes here. Passed, the car that passed was going fast. Now, why does it help? It helps because fast ends in T sound, and this ed is also T sound. Passed. And the same here, reversed. As I told you here in the chart where we put the verbs, right? So here, now we go to the next part of this.
Was going fast. It hit the side. The driver cried.
The driver cried. So how does that one help? Sighed. The ending sound is d. Sighed. The driver cried. So again it's d. So you have two more rhymes here. Sighed and cried.
It hit the side. The driver cried. He never guessed he'd pass the test.
He never guessed.
B31.
He never guessed. Now how does that help? Because of the te. Hi Ustad, welcome. You're welcome. It's nice to see you here. So this one helps with the test. It has the ending te sound, and that helps you with the ed pronunciation of guessed. So that's te. Now with all that in mind, it's good to listen again.
He looked round first and then reversed. The car that passed was going fast. It hit the side. The driver cried. He never guessed he'd pass the test.
Good. So again, as I explained earlier in the video, you see that we have three pronunciations of ed. It can be te, like here, talked. It can be de, cleaned. And it can be it, heated, needed. Okay? Yes, guessed, past, test. All of them are te. Good. So let's go to the next part. Here is exactly the part that I told you about the ed. So when sometimes it's pronounced it, you get an extra syllable. This is one syllable, hate. Yes, but hated, it's two syllables, right? Because you're getting a vowel, little vowel here, hated. So if I write another example, let me write it. For example, you say walk. And then you say walked. You add the ed. But for example, you say want, and then you say wanted. So here's where you get the extra syllable. When you add ed, sometimes that you are in column 3, this is column 3, the it sound, you're getting an extra syllable. So walk is one syllable, walked, still one syllable. But want is one syllable, wanted. That's two syllables. So this is what this exercise is saying, and tries to give more example that I'll show you later in the video. Hate is like that. Whenever your verb ends in te or de, for example, need ends in de, so you say needed. Or ends in te, for example, want, or let me see, yeah, or heat, it ends in te. When that happens, you get the it sound. Heated, needed, voted, wanted. So here you see some examples with one syllables and two syllables. Here you have two words with one syllable. Pete played. So Pete is one syllable. Pete played. But here you have each word is two syllables. Rita rested, two syllable. Pete played, Rita rested. That's the topic of that's the title of the lesson. Yes, Pete played, Rita rested, as I told you. So again, Dan danced, Colin counted. So you have two syllables in each of these words. So let's listen.
B31. Pete played. Rita rested. Dan danced. Colin counted. Will watched. Wendy waited. Liz laughed. Sheila shouted. Claire cleaned. Myra mended. Steve stopped. Stacy started.
So here all of them you have two syllables. Why do I say we have two syllables? Because we have two vowels. Stay, see. When you have two vowels, it means you have two syllables. Or started. I don't mean what you see, what you hear. So start, and then et. You have two syllables. But here you have one syllable. You see two vowels, but it's one vowel actually, because it's Steve. Steve. One vowel, one syllable. And also this one, you see two vowels, but it's actually one vowel. Sound. Stopped. St. Up. T. So it's one vowel actually. Present and past. Here's some more examples. I don't think we need this. Let's just listen if it's there, because it's not hard.
B32. You never cook a meal. You never cooked a meal.
I sometimes watch a movie. I sometimes watched a movie.
We often phone our parents. We often phoned our parents.
Okay, good. Here it says sometimes that is hard for you. Link the, for example, when you get an extra syllable, when you change cook to cooked, you get a T sound. Some people find it hard to say cooked because two syllables are back to back, so it makes it a bit hard. So you can link it to the next word, and instead of saying cooked all the food, you can say cooked all the food. But I don't really like this method because sometimes you can't do it. Like, let's say if it was cooked macaroni, then it's hard. I mean, you get the same problem. So that's why I don't like this method, linking it to the next word. You say cooked all the food. That's not what I like, because you can't do it all the time. Sometimes it's meh, for example, macaroni. You can't say he cooked macaroni. So, you know, it works sometimes when you have a vowel after that. Otherwise, it doesn't really work. And sometimes it says when it doesn't work, you don't say it. For example, here, it says you don't have a vowel here, so it's hard to link the T to the next part to say, okay, remove it. You don't even hear that. So they say, I cooked dinner yesterday. You don't hear the T sound if they are speaking fast. Or I walked through. They don't say this sound very strong, you know. That's what I mean. Okay, good. Now we go to the exercise part where we should answer some questions about this. So let's see. Okay. This is interesting. Here we should match them with the rhymes, okay? For example, I'll give you an example here. Let me... That's a lot. Okay, look at here. We have the word queued. The people queued the answer to buy the food. So we find the rhymes here. Queued to find the food. People queued to find the to buy the food. Yes, so we should find the rhymes. Why does it help? Okay, teacher, why do I do it? The reason is because it helps you learn the ED sound. You understand that this is the D sound, queued. So teacher, why? Because it's linked to food. D. So the people queued to buy the food. Now let's go to number 2. If you got an answer, you can type it. So number 2 says, the thing you missed, then you should find something here. The thing you missed, I know it might take some time, so take your time with that. So you should be looking for something that has te at the end, because missed, the ed is pronounced like the te sound. The thing you missed, you also need to look for something that has e. For example, I don't know, tipped, sipped. You need that e2 with the te sound. I know it's te, but if you didn't know, you can also use the meanings. I know this is te sound. Missed. Okay. I would say the thing you missed, I'm looking for something that has was never found. Could say that. The thing you missed are on the board. The thing you missed are on the board. No, that's not good. The thing you missed and then she smiled. No, not good. The thing you missed to build on sand. No, I don't look for de, I'm looking for te. So the thing you missed was on the list, maybe. The thing you missed until she coughed. No, not good. So yeah, this is good. List goes perfectly with missed. That's where the rhyme is. So we found 2 rhymes. The thing you missed was on the list. So I choose E for number 2. E for number 2. Right. So let's go to number 3. Zahra says C. Zahra C, no, because C is smiled. The ending is de. But I'm looking for te. The thing you missed. Because the ending of this word, when you add ed, it's te sound. The thing you missed was on the list. It was on the list. Yes, good, Zahra. E. Now let's go to the next one. The man controlled. So you have to look for de. I know it's the de. If you didn't know, you have to use the meaning. You would have to use the meaning. Right? The man controlled. Controlled what? The man controlled. So you have old, controlled. This one is not easy to find, so it takes some time. That's fine. We have already used E and H, so we're looking for A, B, C, D, F, G, I, J. Zahra, J is good pronunciation wise, but meaning wise it's not good, because you can't say the man controlled was hard. No, it has to make sense. For example, the people queued to buy the food. The thing you missed was on the list. So you need meaning too. The man controlled what? The man controlled was hard and cold doesn't make sense. It's not a good sentence, right? So the man controlled. Yeah, good, Zahra. Exactly, that's G. The man controlled the nation's gold. Exactly, you have the de here too. The man controlled the nation's gold. G, so G is gone too. Oh, finally easier. So we have less to deal with. Just A, B, C, D, F, I, J. Okay, let's go to number 4. She saw the child. So you have this sound. She saw the child. You should look for that sound here. Saw the child. Hi, I'm saying welcome. She saw the child. Was never, it's not even meaningful. So she saw the child are on the board? No. So what do you think about that? Good, exactly, that's C. She saw the child and then she smiled. Child smiled. Zahra, good. I'm saying good. So yeah, this is C. So finally we got rid of C2. Now it's getting easier and easier. The boats that crossed, crossed. The boat that crossed, I know it's a T sound. Crossed. So now you need to find a rhyme for that. Crossed. The boat that crossed was never found. No. And it has there. I want te. The boat that crossed. Good Zahra. Good Amir saying. I was nearly lost. So this is I. We got rid of I too. Define the next one. The man who. It's very important to know the pronunciation of this word. Drown. Drown. The man who drowned. I know it's the. It's like cleaned. Drowned. Phoned. But look at the ow sound. The man who drowned. Now it's easier because you gotta choose from 5 options. Very good, sir. Was never found. The man who drowned was never found. So drowned means to die in the sea or in the water because you don't know how to swim. So you drown. If you don't know swimming, you will drown. Good answer. A. So let's go to the next one. The snow we rolled. The snow we rolled. So you should be looking for ending the ending sound. The snow we rolled. Very good. Now, J. Zahra, yes. The snow we rolled was hard and cold. Rolled, cold. The meaning is also perfect here. So yeah, this is J. Now we just have 3 more here. H, 9, 10. Her voice was soft. Final T sound, of course, it's clear. Her voice was soft. And now you should find the rhyme. Very good. F. Until she coughed. An important pronunciation note is the stress of this word is on the second part. Everybody says until. I don't know why. Even teachers say until. No, it's not until. It's until. Stress is until. So, her voice was soft until she coughed. Cough. Coughed. It's also T sound. So yeah, that's F. Sorry, F is not here. F is here. And finally, the points were scored. The points we scored. The points we scored. Where were they? So you have to look at this one and find your rhyme. Scored. The points we scored are on the board. Very good, Zahra. So finally, we just have one more. We never planned to build on sand. That's one is D. We never planned to build on sand. So yeah, they are the answers for this part. At first it was a little hard, I understand, but fortunately we did it. That was good, especially Zahra, who did a lot of them. Yeah, good. So let's go to the next part. Here you should, let's see. Okay, here we should write the past forms, and we should say, is it how the past form is pronounced. So you should basically look for number 3. Number 3 is et, heated, needed. So here we should do the same. For example, hate, when you add ed, it goes to the second part because you get an extra syllable. Hate is 1 syllable, but hated is 2 syllables. But walk, when you add ed, you don't get an extra syllable, so you just have 1 syllable. When you have 1 syllable, you put it on the first row, the second row. So you can just write numbers. For example, need, which number? When you add ed to need, do you get an extra syllable or do you not get an extra syllable? If I pronounce it, it will be easy, but maybe I'll do if you find it hard. So when actually this column 2 syllable is the ones that have, is column 3 at the beginning of the lesson I taught you. Column 3. This number 1 is column 1 and 2. So they are, for example, te, the ending is te, or the ending is de. So that's basically what we're doing, because number 2 we get an extra syllable. Need is number 2, good, because we say needed, so need is 2. Wash is 1, good, Zahra. Wash is 1 because we say washed and it's the te sound. Wait is 2, good, Zahra, because we have te at the end, say waited. We can change it to de too, so waited or waited. Wasted, good, it's the same, you have te at the end. I told you, whenever you have te or de at the end, I mean the sound, you change it to et. Heated, needed, wasted, waited, helped, good, Zahra, it's the te sound. Helped, the te, and it's number 1. Taste, what about that one? Taste, I'll pronounce it, tasted. So it's again more like, yeah, it's like number 2 because you're getting an extra syllable. Tasted. Phoned. Phone is number 1. Good, Zahra. And it's the de sound. This time it's not the te, it's the de one is here. Phoned. Dance. Oh, I think you don't see that. Dance. We have dance. Dance is 1 exactly, and it's the te sound. Danced. That's number 1. End. Very good. Number 2, because we say ended. And finally, asked. Talked. Walked. Asked. That one is number 1. Good, Zahra. And it's the te one. Asked. Good job. So let's go to the next part. This part is interesting. You should put them in the blanks from the list. Where's the list? This is the list. Here you have some words. You have some words on the top. So here's what we're doing. We are getting one syllable, one syllable, one syllable, okay? But on the right, we want to get two syllable, two syllable, two syllable, okay? And we should fill in the blanks with our verbs. For example, here, Paul is one syllable, played, one syllable, games, one syllable. But here, Peter, two syllables. And why is it the first one is big? Because the stress is on the first one. I don't say Peter, I say Peter. Peter. Peter painted pictures. Painted. This ed is getting an extra syllable, so that's why I used painted here, and I get rid of this painted here. Play is also, we get rid of this. So now we just gotta work on these verbs here, right? So, hi sweet, welcome. So let's go to the next one. One syllable, one syllable, one syllable. So Ken blank lunch. Ken what lunch? Watched lunch, added lunch, phoned lunch, counted lunch, mixed lunch, cooked lunch, started lunch, or shouted lunch. You should put it the past form. Cooked, good Zahra. So cooked. Let me number them so it will be easier for me. Let's say, okay, I'll write it. Cooked. Let me just make it a little bigger. Cooked. No, it's not good. Cooked. So this is one syllable. Ken cooked lunch. Karen counted money. Good sweet. Cooked. Counted. Good Zahra. Counted money. Now this is the one that gets an extra syllable. Counted. Counted. Also you might hear counted sometimes. So Karen counted money. Let's go to the next one. Fred. Fred blank friends. Oops, sorry, I forgot to remove cook. So we got rid of cook. Fred blank friends. So what do you say? Fred watched friends, added friends, phoned friends. Phoned, good Zahra. Fred phoned friends. One syllable. Fred, one syllable. Phoned, one syllable. Friends, one syllable. Stella, Stella, two syllables. Singing, two syllables. Started singing. Yeah, good sweet. Phoned, good. So Stella started singing. So here you have two syllable, all of them. Say Stella started singing. But on the right, you just have one syllable. Fred phoned friends. Right? So let's go to Mark. Who is this guy? Okay. What drinks? Good, started, yeah. So here we have M-A-R-G, one syllable Mark. You should use the words on the top. So we used counted and we use started. So now we just have this one, this one, this one, and this one. 4. Mixed, good, sweet. Yes, Zahra also. Added sugar, good. So you have mixed, you get the ed, but you get just one syllable. Mixed. Alice added sugar. So now it's pretty easy. We used added, we used mixed. Now we just have also we used phoned. I forgot to tell you. So we just have watch and shout. Watched the films, shouted loudly. Very good. Watched the films, shouted loudly. So what happens again, I tell you. One syllable, will, watched, one syllable, films, one syllable. Shayla, two syllable, shouted, two syllable, loudly, two syllables. Good, sweet, watch. So nice. Now let's do the last part. Listen and tell me what you hear, and we finish the lesson. Just tell me what you hear. Let me call them A and B. Walk is A, walked is B. So you can just say A, B, or you can type it. What do you hear?
B33. Walked. Washed. Helped. B34.
Paul played games.
B35. 1. I always walked away from fights.
Oh, again, I'll have difficulty here. So, can you help me out here? I think it's also British accent, but it's not that much hurt because we don't have R here very much.
I always walked away from fights.
You have to see, do you hear the T sound? Walked. Or do you hear just walk?
From fights. I always walked away from fights. I always walked away from fights.
Tway. I hear something like tway. What do you hear? Really? You hear A? So why did I hear T? Walked. Walked away. I don't know. Maybe you're right. Let me listen again.
I always walked away from fights. I always walked away from fights.
I hear tway. I always walked away. Tway. And it's British, that's why it's not walk, it's walk, something like that. Yeah, walked. Yes, Zahra and Sweet, they both said walked. Isabel also says te. Okay, so we will choose te. I hope I didn't make it hard for you. Maybe you were right. We'll check it later. But I think I hear the te sound completely. Okay, let's go to the next one.
2.
I think they want to talk. Talk.
2.
I think they want to talk.
2.
I think they want to talk.
So this one is not hard because you easily understand. Is there an extra syllable or is there not an extra syllable? Yes, sweet. Yeah, I'm not familiar. No, I'm familiar, but sometimes it's hard for me to understand. Sweet says I'm not familiar. Want, good Zahra. It's want, it's clear because you don't hear wanted. They want to talk.
2.
I think they want to talk.
3. Me and my friends laugh a lot. 3. Me and my friends laugh a lot.
Me and my friends laugh a lot. So you have to see, do you hear the te, laughed? Or no, you just hear laugh.
3. Me and my friends laugh a lot. Me and my friends laugh a lot. 3. Me and my friends laugh a lot.
Okay, so wanted is good. Wanted now is about because you don't hear ted. Say want to talk. Want to talk. That te you hear is for two, Isabel. Listen again.
I think they want to talk. I think they want to talk.
I think they wanted to talk. I think they wanted to talk. Wanted to talk. So you don't hear wanted to talk. You hear want to talk. So that's want.
They want to talk.
3. Me and my friends laugh a lot.
Yeah, me and my friends laugh a lot. So good. Zahra, nice.
4. On Saturdays we danced all night. 4. On Saturdays we danced all night. 4. On Saturdays we danced all night. 4. On Saturdays we danced all night.
So do you hear danced or do you hear dance? Sweet says A, Zahra says danced. I hear more like a T sound, so I would agree with Zahra, but we have to check it. One reason that is a little bit, confusing is because you say on Saturdays. So you say teacher on Saturdays is like every Saturday, so you shouldn't use simple past. But you actually can use simple past if you're talking about a period of time ago. So that's where it gets a little hard. But let's listen again.
4. On Saturdays we danced all night. Days we danced all night.
I hear some T, so we'll check that one. Let's go to 5.
5.
I always hated Sundays.
5.
I always hated Sundays. I always hated Sundays.
So what about that one? I always hated Sundays. I always hated Sundays. That's what I heard.
5.
I always hated Sundays.
I always hated Sundays. Yeah, this one was easy. Whenever you have the third column that I told you, the third column is always easy because you get an extra syllable. Hated, needed, wanted, hated. But number 1 and 2 is hard. Not hard, but you just have to pay more attention. So good, hated, sweet, good, Zahra, good. Let's go to 6.
6. You never help Alice.
7.
Help Alice.
6.
You never help Alice.
So do you hear help Alice or do you hear help Alice?
6. You never help Alice.
7. 6.
You never help Alice.
6.
You never help Alice.
Good, sweet, good, Zahra. This one is not a T. You don't hear T at all. Oops. Yeah, you don't hear that. You never help palace. Like palace. Like a palace. I hear something like that.
7.
Oh, 7 is easy because you say need or needed. It's easy to recognize.
They needed more time. 7. They needed more time. 7. They needed more time. 7. They needed more time.
So what do you think? A or B? They need more time or they needed more time? Needed, good, Zahra. They needed more time. Finally, the last one. This one is also easy because it's column number 3. Identifying or differentiating between paint and painted is actually easy. But let's do it.
8.
They paint the walls every few years. They paint the walls every few years.
Time. 8.
They paint the walls every few years. They paint the walls every few years.
Yes. Now there's one very interesting question that people say, okay teacher, we don't have to listen to the CD because it is every few years. So when it is every few years, it has to be paint. But that's not true. This is the point that I want to share here. You can say they painted the walls every few years. let's say I'm talking about a family, one of our neighbors. So they were a family of 4 people, let's say, and I remember now, for example, they died. Okay, sadly, they died 2 years ago. Okay, that family died 2 years ago. Now I'm talking about that family, and I say that family painted their walls every few years. So this is when you can use every few days to talk about something in the past that didn't continue. It was every few days, but it stopped because they died. So that's why I say you can use painted with every few days. Okay, so that was the point I wanted to share, especially with people who stayed with me so long. Just let's check our answers too, because I'm not very sure with them. Let's check too. So I think I'm gonna take a screenshot to check our answers. So this is, what unit is it? We are unit 27.4. Let's check our answers and then we will finish. 27.4. Oops, that's too much. 27.4. Okay. Now let's check our answers. So, yeah. Walked, we did okay. Want, we did okay. Laugh, we did okay. Danced, we did. Oh, I'm surprised that we did so good. We actually did so well. Actually, with the help of you. So, hated, okay. Help, palace, yes, okay. Needed, we did okay. Paint, oh, so spot on. We got 8 out of 8. 8 out of 8. Okay, good. Thank you for listening to me in another class of pronunciation in use level intermediate, unit 27. Hopefully next session we will go, as the book says, go to unit something else. Let's see what the book said. Next session we will go to unit 47, if my memory serves me right. 27, we did it. Yeah, here we did it, and it says yes, now go to unit 47. So we're gonna do that next session. Thank you for being in the class. It was nice to have you all on. I'll stop the recording.